Join us for a driving review of the Porsche Taycan TurboS. Let's go! In the front we can see typical Porsche design elements like this round shape right here, reminding us of a classic 911 style, but then also more unique elements like here with the headlamps. They come standard with LED and optional matrix LED, but here the TurboS has the matrix LED with the elaborated high beam function already included next to some other features. The length is at 4 meters 96, 16 foot 3 or 195 inches, and usually 4S 19-inch wheels, the Turbo 20-inch wheels, TurboS 21-inch wheels, but today with the TurboS still the only 20-inch wheels, but that's actually a good choice. Winter tires on that one and a massive design, really cool. And what an impressive appearance here also in the rear with the light strip that goes all around the vehicle. Really clean from design, a little bit more playful here in the lower part with the carbon fiber again, but I think design-wise really top notch. Top speed, by the way, 260 kilometers an hour or 160 miles an hour for the TurboS right here. Definitely more than enough. And the acceleration figure to 1 kilometers or 62 miles an hour, less than 3 seconds. Definitely an EV rocket. And the gross battery size here is 93 kilowatt hours. However, net capacity is lower, and that's the bigger battery that is standard for the TurboS. For the 4S, for example, you can get this one, the same one, the bigger or a smaller one. And what about recharging? AC charging is usually 11 kilowatt standard. Optional, there's now a 22 kilowatt charger AC available, but 1,600 euros extra. I think it should be included. Here the AC in the top part, but then in the lower part there's also DC charging with a peak of 270 kilowatt. The question is, can you really reach that? We did some tests so far and once reached 245 kilowatt DC charging. That is of course massive. And this here an Ionity charger. So the Ionity charging network is something compared to the Tesla supercharger network. Not so many charging stations of these yet, but the other traditional manufacturers are working together to put something against Tesla for this supercharging network. And let's see what speed we can score here today at this fast charger. And here we go. This is really fun with the screen here at the fast charger. Oh, and that goes quite well. So seem to reach 190 kilowatt. That's already pretty quick indeed. And this would mean at the moment we have here 10 kilometers per minute. So the full charge would take 1 hour now. But of course we don't need to charge fully to 100%. So if you want to go like to, let's say 60 or 70%, that's way quicker than, let's say like 10-15 minutes, and then you can proceed. Then instead of the doors, everything wrapped tightly. That's the Porsche design scheme. Taycan TurboS entry badge, microfiber steering wheel, because this is here the animal-free interior. So completely animal-free. What a step forward for Porsche. And this is very cool. You have microfiber inserts right here and then fabric there. That's very breathable, so best for summertime driving, but also best for wintertime driving. So the best climate experience for your body. And getting inside, it is definitely a sports car feeling, no doubt about that. And yeah, it feels also, once again, 911 similar, but a little bit more space, and these fabric seats here, they also give you more comfort because it adapts more to the body. Today it's not about boats, but about screens. So here, starting left, digital instruments. 16.8 inch, really wide, but partially blocked by the steering wheel. Then 10.9 inch here. Another optional passenger screen that is only working when there's also a passenger on the seat, actually. If not, when you put in the D mode, then it switches here to the Taikhan logo, sadly. Would have liked to show you that also with the speed while driving. And then in the lower part, 8.4 inch screen. That is then, for example, here for the temperature. And here we go now with the digital instruments. Again, a little bit blocked left and right, but overall, yeah. I mean, you can be fine, that works. Then you can switch here, for example, all-wheel drive simulation, PDCC, that's the anti-roll control. It also works very well in that vehicle. The middle part, speed here, power meter, or you can also display the GPS map. That is, of course, quite helpful. But most of the time, of course, we want to rather see the performance features. And on the right side, you can also switch around or have some GPS information. So no matter what you want, this always works. It's really flexible. And then this central screen, let's take a look at the GPS, which is somewhat laggy, so the responsiveness should be better. It's already the night view. And then you can also go to the CarPlay here, and let's listen to that. It's a very good remix. Yeah. All-time classic Bose sound system, which is a very cool thing, definitely. Here on the passenger side, you can basically do everything like that. So this is a divide then that the passenger can do their own stuff and the driver can do, So there's maybe less arguing in the car. The lower unit right here, a little bit complicated to change the temperature. Well, the focus of that vehicle is not necessarily passenger transport, but you can get along with tall adults here also in the rear. Directly fits also legroom-wise, and also with your feet. That's well done because they use so-called foot garages. So in the battery that's placed in the lower central part of the vehicle, they had like a spacing out that your feet can also fit then here in the passenger compartment. That's very interesting. This is the car key, by the way. You can open the back trunk and here all the front trunk, the so-called frunk. And then you can also easily open it like here. There we go. And this is a good space in to put the charging cables. There's a special box here. You can open it like this, and then you have actually space for 2 cables in here. Trunk capacity 80 liters in the front, 370 liters in the rear, and a cabin trolley fits in a vertical way, barely, but does work like this. And see here, I put it like this, that you can see approximately the dimension. Welcome to Thomas's active driving lounge with the Porsche Taycan TurboS, the ultimate EV Porsche. And we go from normal to the Sports Plus mode. Then also there's this additional electric sports sound activated, and brace yourself because this acceleration here is absolutely insane. I can tell you, from 40 kilometers an hour, let's go. Kilometers, 125 miles an hour. Of course, we could go even faster, but we have to pay attention here to the other cars. This is beyond anything. Absolutely insane. And look at that, 200 kilometers, 125 miles an hour. It's really silent in here, although there's no engine sound covering anything. And lane change at that speed, no problem. How calm and collected this car is. This car says like 200 kilometers an hour, 125 miles an hour. Come on, give me, this is like nothing. It's like super boring or something. And here now on the brakes, carbon ceramic brakes. Of course, you have to push them a little bit harder, but great braking performance. And there's also no fading effect then whatsoever. Woo! Oh God. By the way, here in the normal mode then, everything calm and collected. Even sports mode, the electric sports sound is still off. And this is like the default setting, that when you go to the Sports Plus mode, the electric sound is then on, and you hear the difference then. I want to race this active tour, or grand tour, so here, sports sound. It's like just the normal electric sound in Sport Plus then. This, there you hear the difference, you know. But I can also put it here to on in the sport mode, or when I go to the Sports Plus mode, I could also set it to off, so that would also be possible. And now sports mode, when we are already at speed from 100 kilometers, oh, there's a Golf R behind us. Goodbye. And that's it. Again, 100 to 200. And that Golf R is not to be seen. So, and that was now without that sound. It's in normal sport mode, without the electric sound. And I mean, it sounds more spectacular if you have that electric sound on, definitely. And I mean, how relaxed and calm and collected I can still drive at that kind of speed. It feels like driving half the speed, you know, if you compare it to driving any normal vehicle. Where am I actually? Am I on Earth? Am I in a spaceship? I mean, I feel like like a second ago, the traffic light jumped to green, and now I'm somewhere else. So this is defeating this car as transporting. This was Sports Plus one, of course. Pay attention to that, so don't overuse it. But the agility this car is giving you, you know, right and left from the get-go, it's like nothing else really. And I really have to say, you know, just from these, you know, short corner experiences, we had it a little bit already with the 4S, with the not so strong Taikhan. This one, of course, with the TurboS, even more aggressive. A 911 or a Panamera is actually really no match to that. The Porsche Taycan just plays in its own class. You rather have to compare it then to the electric competitors, like when the Tesla Model S gets the Plaid model, or the Tesla Roadster. But we really have to say, I mean, Tesla has, you know, different interior concept and about the range and so on. They figured it out quite well, efficiency of the drivetrain and so on. But the driving agility here in the Porsche Taycan, this is really beyond everything I've ever experienced at this size of a vehicle. And although it's bigger than a 911, it's way more agile and sportier than a 911. Really can say that. And I mean, you're sitting here just waiting for the next traffic light to jump to green, and you can yeah, this is so funny. This is so funny. There was a jump from 0 to 50 kilometers an hour. Every parking lot just is so much fun. I mean, the reaction, look at that. It's like, it's a super heavy vehicle with that big battery, but it's literally driving like a small kart. This is absolutely insane. Look at that. I mean, you have the feeling you can do slalom, you know, like just in, you know, everywhere, anytime soon. And from standstill now, this 50. I mean, it's like you do that like this, and then it's 50 kilometers an hour. And in the Sports Plus mode, there's also some wheel spin now when, you know, it's cold and road is wet and so on and so on. Absolutely insane. And now to our conclusion for today with the Porsche Taycan here today as the Turbo S. In general, What a great agile driving experience. It's really incredible, unlike anything else. This car feels like really on rails and like a small go-kart, although it's long, big and heavy indeed, and definitely feeling sportier than the Porsche 911. If you ask me, 911 or Taycan, no doubt I would always take the Taycan. The question is, do you have the charging infrastructure ready for this vehicle? That's, to me, the main question if you go for the Taycan or not. Range is maybe not the best overall, that's the one thing, but the driving agility, incredible, and of course the performance, especially with the TurboS version. But the 4S, for example, tune into that review as well, is totally sufficient. You can easily go for that, or even later on also for the entry model, which just has one electric motor. The styling is also really nice, really great in a sporty style. Kept with the Porsche design, but somehow a little bit unique. Interior also completely animal-free, possible in different colors. Finally, they offer something like that. Another reason to go for the Taycan, definitely. And hardly ever we have had so much great feedback when driving with the Taycan, also with the 4S, because people know this is a Porsche, they like the brand, but they also know that this is now a more sustainable approach. Of course, with using the materials for the battery, this has to improve technology-wise, but the approach and the thought behind it, also with the more sustainable interior, that's definitely already a big step forward. Thank you so much for tuning in today. I hope you really enjoyed this episode. Tune into the Tesla Model S episode, to the other Taycan episode and so on. See you there or see you next time. Thank you so much for tuning in.